Guys, so this is my latest blog post. I decided to video this one rather than write it because it's quite a big subject and it's personal to me. So today I'm going to talk about postnatal depression or PND. So first of all, what is PND? So according to Google, postnatal depression is a depression suffered by a mother following childbirth, typically arising from the combination of hormonal changes, psychological adjustment to motherhood, and fatigue. So it's more than baby blues, but it's seen almost like a taboo subject. So that's why I wanted to film this and talk about this today, because I want to break that taboo. So I've been there myself, and for me, there were three biggest fears of admitting how I felt. So number one, and my biggest fear, was that people would think I don't love my baby. They'd think I didn't love Oscar, and that just wasn't true. I absolutely adore him to bits. I love him to bits, and it was never about not loving him. Secondly, I think, is the fear of failure, that big one. What does failure even mean? But it's a fear of people thinking that you failed as a mother and as a woman because you're not feeling the way that you should do. And that just isn't true. And the third one is a fear of having your baby taken away. And that's just not going to happen. They would never take your baby away unless they were in absolute danger. So just because you have PND does not mean they're going to take your baby away. But those were my three biggest fears, and I think are probably common fears among women. And so it's not really spoken about. So prenatally, PND was only mentioned to me once by my health visitor, and it was just like a keep your eye open for it. It's more than baby blues. Get your husband to keep an eye out for it because he knows how you are day to day, so he's going to know if you've changed. And that was it. And postnatally, it was just mentioned a couple of times by midwives in their visits on the first few days that we came out of hospital, and it was just the same thing. Keep an eye out for it. Go see your doctor. So there wasn't much out there and nobody really talked about it. So I had the usual baby blues. Yes, I was tired, extremely tired. I was breastfeeding and Oscar wanted to feed like every hour, and he would feed for like 45 minutes. So I was knackered during the day. I was basically up all night. I was getting 2 to 3 hours sleep a night. In a 24-hour period. So I was absolutely knackered, and bless him, my husband can't help with feeds because I'm breastfeeding. So I was just so tired. But he was brilliant. I mentioned in my last post the reality of life with a newborn. We used to have to sleep in shift, so I could get some sleep around having to feed him. But I was really tired, and I had the normal baby blues. But I probably realised it was more than that when he was around 10 weeks old, because I just lost the joy in taking him out. It seemed really stressful. So I've mentioned before that he had really bad colic and reflux, still has reflux, but I'm able to deal with it better now. But it was just not a joy going out with him because he'd be in pain, he'd be being sick, he'd have his colic, and it just felt like there was nothing I could do. No matter how in pain he was, how upset he was, it just felt like there was nothing I could do. And so it felt to me like I was failing as his mummy because I couldn't take that pain away, and I couldn't stop the crying, and I couldn't console him. So that's probably how it started. And I just had a real anxiety of wanting to keep him safe, and that just started to fester in my mind, and I used to be scared about whether I could keep him safe, and then that used to make me think, God, you're not being a mummy if you don't think you can keep him safe. And so all these thoughts just festered, and the anxiety, when I look back on it now, seems really stupid, because every new mum wants to keep their baby safe. They do. And we do everything that we can as new mums to keep them safe, so it's absolutely ridiculous to worry about it. But I think it stemmed from an incident that I will never forget when I was 33 to 35 weeks pregnant, and we went for our 4D scan. And as we got up to the building, we got out the car, we could hear this real howl of a cry, a real deep screaming cry from a woman, and we both knew what it was. We both knew what it meant. We both knew the devastating news she'd just been given. And so they asked us if we would mind going away and popping back when they phoned us after they had helped this lady. And that was absolutely fine. And we went off and we sat in the pub down the road and we had a drink. And I just remember it hitting me, all these feelings of how terrible that woman must be feeling. She was quite far on. So to get that news, I can't even imagine, but it must be heartbreaking. And that haunted me. And from that moment on, in my pregnancy, I was terrified. I was terrified that anything I did was going to harm Oscar, that I was just terrified of getting him through to delivery day. And I thought that would be it. And then when he was born, it was just the terrifying thoughts of, okay, now he's here, I need to keep him safe, I need to keep him alive, and I need to keep him okay. And that festered along with the other thoughts. And I think a combination of those thoughts, along with the difficult third stage of labour and feeling like I just got torn away from him when he was born, made me think that I wasn't getting a bond with him because I couldn't console him. I was worried I couldn't keep him safe, ridiculously, and I was worried that I just couldn't take away the pain that he was feeling. And I just felt like, it sounds really ridiculous because obviously he's a baby and he can't really feel anything yet, but I felt like he didn't love me and I felt like we weren't going to have that bond. And I remember when I hit my lowest, he was around 10 weeks old, and I phoned my health visitor in absolute floods of tears saying I couldn't cope, I needed to talk to her, I just didn't know what to do anymore. And she was absolutely brilliant. She came round, she spent a couple of hours talking to me, she assessed me for PND, which she said, yes, you know, you do have, and she phoned my GP and made me an appointment to see them the next day to get some medication. And we just talked, and one of the things that she said to me really hit home, and when she said it, it just clicked. And she said, you need to grieve. You need to grieve for your life before Oscar. Now, before I had Oscar, I was really independent. I was really doing well in my career, and I threw myself into my career. I love it. I love challenges. I love being under pressure. And I wouldn't think twice about working long hours, weekends, whatever I needed to do. We were really independent. Me and Nath, we could just go out for drinks, go out for a meal, go to cinema, do whatever we wanted to do. I could get dressed, have a shower, do my makeup, make myself look nice, and I wasn't tired. And suddenly, overnight, literally overnight, I was in labour, my life just changed. And suddenly here I was in the house with him every day. He was crying, he had reflux, I wasn't sleeping, I couldn't even get a shower unless Nath was here to watch him, I couldn't do my makeup. I didn't feel like me anymore. And so I needed to grieve for my life before, and once I did that, it was amazing. It was like a weight was lifted, and I just started to think, yeah, okay, I've lost the life I had before, but I'm going to have an amazing new life because Oscar's going to start smiling and giggling, and one day he's going to say, I love you, mummy, and he's going to want cuddles, and he's going to come into bed with us in the mornings, and he's going to have family movie nights with us and go on holidays. And so then I could actually really start to look forward to all those new things, and it just felt like a weight was lifted. And when he reached 12 weeks, he really hit like a new window. Like he just broke through this wall, and he started napping during the day, which I really, really needed, because when he was a newborn, he wouldn't sleep unless he was on me. so I couldn't get anything done. I couldn't do anything around the house, I couldn't do any washing, I couldn't make any dinner, and I felt terrible because my husband had to do it all, and I felt like, you know, I'm not at work, I'm here every day, but I can't even do these things, and that contributed to it as well. So finally he was napping, and although he only has like half an hour naps, he has about 4 of those a day. So it's just time that I can jump in the shower, or I can put some makeup on, or I can make a cup of tea and put my feet up, or whatever I need to do. So that was great. And he hit the time when he started smiling and giggling, and I love it now, because now he just doesn't stop smiling. He's brilliant, and all he needs to see is mummy's face and he smiles. So that's really nice, because now I'm getting feedback. I'm feeling like he does love me and he is happy. So that's really helped. And he's going to bed earlier at night. So he has always been quite a good sleeper at night, but he goes down about 8:30 and he sleeps till about 5:30 when he wants a bottle. So 8:30 is brilliant, because I get some time back. So when he goes to sleep, I can have a bath, or I can watch a film, have a bit of me time, read a book, or if my husband's here, he's not at work, we can watch a film, or we can sit down with a glass of wine or a cup of tea and talk about our day, and just have like some time for us as husband and wife as well, just to talk about our days again. So that's been really nice. And actually after Christmas, for about the last 2 weeks, we've moved him into his own room now as well, because he's outgrown his basket. So we have that space in our room as well. So it's just starting to feel like I'm getting more of my space and my time back. So that's really helped as well. And the health visitor said, you know, let's make a plan. If there's one thing you want to achieve by the end of this plan, what is it? And for me, it was something really simple as I want to have a shower. I want to be able to have a shower without Nath having to be here to take Oscar, or without me having to sit Oscar in the door in his bouncer. I want to be able to have just a shower in a day. So she was like, okay, fine, we'll start with that. We made a plan. I saw her in the weigh-in clinics when I took Oscar in. She came and did some home visits with me, and we just kept talking about how was I doing, how was I feeling, how had things changed. And that really helped me. So I had medication from my doctor, and I was able to talk to my health visitor, and because I felt like admitting it was a weight off my shoulders, I was able to talk to my husband as well. I felt like I could just be open with him now, so that really helped. And I'm really glad to say that I'm feeling 100% better. So, you know, I would urge you, if you're sat here now and you're thinking, I have this and I'm feeling that way, and maybe it's PND, I would just urge you to talk to your doctor or talk to your health visitor, because it doesn't have to go on forever. If, you know, you get it sorted quickly. I felt completely turned around within 8 weeks. It was just like a light bulb switching on. And I'm so glad that I got help and I didn't just sit there and let it get worse, because, you know, now I enjoy my days with him, and, you know, now I miss him when he has his naps, or, you know, he goes down to bed, and we have like this new closeness. And I think because I'm happier, I definitely think he's happier, and we're all happier as a family, I think, because of it. So if you are sat there and you're thinking that you're feeling the same way, then please get help. So my objective in making this video and being brutally honest with how I'm feeling is just to help anyone else that might be feeling the same way. So I was really nervous about doing this. It's a really scary thing to put out, you know, personal feelings or how you're feeling and put them out there on the internet. But if I can just help one person by doing that and sharing my story, then that's amazing. So please go and get help. Also, if you want to just talk and you're feeling that way and you want to talk to someone, by all means contact me and I'd be more than happy to talk to you. But other than that, you know, this is new for me doing a video, so leave me a comment, let me know, did you like it, did you not, should I just go back to writing, should I do more videos? Also, you know, what do you want to hear me talk about or write about? you know, I do have some things that I am going to cover over the next few months, but if there's anything in particular, let me know. But other than that, I just want to really say thank you for listening to my very first video. Thank you for taking some time to listen to me ramble. And other than that, I hope you have a really good day.